very first video blog documenting how I compose music, which I promised to family and friends a good 3 months ago. So I have 3 apologies to make. The first is an apology for the decor in the background. Sorry, I live in an 80-year-old house, so I've got funky, weird floral designs on the walls. The second is an apology for taking so long to create the video blog. This is something that I had promised to family and friends, like I said, a good 3 months ago. I originally had some technical issues, which I was able to resolve somewhat fast, but then, here's my deep dark secret, it was hard for me to do because I was camera shy. So, long story short, I've been in bands. I'm still technically in a band called The Last Alliance. We've changed the name. We're on kind of a hiatus recently, and I guess the gist of it is that I've been on stages, I've been in front of people, I've been to after parties, I'm social. I can be in front of people and be social. But man, the minute you stick me in front of this little camera, I start fumbling on my words. So this will be the 85th million cajillionth time I've probably done this. So I'm going to get through it though. So this video blog is specifically meant to let those who are interested know what I'm composing, and give you an opportunity to join me and help work on the music, actually. There were so many video blogs online. When you go to YouTube, you can see tons of very talented artists. I'm humble, I'll be the first to admit. They are way better than I am on keys and such. I can hold my own on drums. I've got a Roland drum set, a couple keyboards, a MIDI controller that I'm working on pretty much every night. But when it comes to technically, when it comes to all the instruments that I have been playing, I'm self-taught. And what that means is that I definitely know skill when I see it. There are a ton of very skilled individuals online that are very good at their craft. But they're showing what they can do on an instrument, and though it is fantastic. I mean, I will sit there and wonder and watch. There's not a lot of composing videos. There's not a lot of videos where a person will create a piece and then present it to you. And the few that are out there, while those are very good too, I still feel like it's a little bit lacking, and not because of the person who created it. It's more so because there's not a collaboration on it. And what I mean by that is, I want this video documentary to be more than just a one-way communicative street for me to show you what I've created and say, ta-da. Music is, at its very heart, collaboration. Think of your favorite band, and then whoever's the best part of that band. If you like the vocals, or if you like the guitarist, or whatever part, take the other parts out, think of how the music would sound, and tell me honestly, you would be buying all of their CDs. So it's just different, and I feel that life should be like that. I feel life should actually be something that's collaborated on, universally, actually. But that's a video for another time. What I'm getting at for the video blog, however, is that I want to include you. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go get an instrument, pick it up, and play it to a piece that I created, and then we'll just put it in there. But to that effect, I have no problem collaborating with anyone that sees this video that would like to. If that's the case, please contact me. We'll definitely work together. But what I mean is that I remember my roots. I remember not knowing much about music, just hearing songs in my mind. Sometimes I would be inspired, and this is probably going to sound crazy, but I would hear pieces of music, and I would hear literally all the parts, and that's really how I compose music. I can't look at sheet music and read it, and I haven't been taught how really to play the keyboard to the degree that you'll hear my music sound. I hear all the parts, I figure out how the parts sound on the keys, record it, and then I go to the second layer and then record that. So, for instance, in the first song that we'll be working with, it's a song that I've recently started writing called Here I Go, lovingly, because I'm starting this new journey with you online. So, with that piece, I, besides doing, of course, the drums, I wound up also creating a specific guitar portion, and I do not play guitar by far. And then I started thinking about how the guitar chug would sound instead of power chords. And then I started feeling like there were certain parts that needed a French horn to add to like an epic sound when it's swelling up. You'll see what I mean, because we'll go through parts of the song together. But anyway, even if you don't know anything about that, if you just feel a specific way, man, I want to know about it. I want to know how the piece is getting to you, because when I create music, it's all based on emotion and inspiration. Honestly, that's what keeps me writing. If I don't have that, I feel like I get writer's block. I will sit there and it feels like I tinker for hours and I don't get anywhere. But the minute emotion hits me, man, I could write for days. And music is a very big passion with me. And I think it's really good that I'm starting to do this. But at the end of this journey, whenever that may be, all I'm looking forward to is creating amazing music collaboratively with you. Wherever this goes, it's going to be up to all of us. So whether it's just you and me being two people on my YouTube channel, or there's tens of thousands, one day when this all ends, I want us to all look back, see the music, and feel that you were a part of it. So again, whenever I write music, there has to be some type of inspiration, some type of emotional drive that makes me want to write it. And within my own band, it seemed like we were finding people to fill the spots, but we weren't finding the right people. So we've taken a hiatus, and I still wanted to write, but I needed to kind of take a step back and see what I could do on a solo project. And I call it a solo project, but really it was more or less I wanted to get the music that's in my head out of my head and see if I can get it to the masses. It's not like I had planned on hitting the stage again. I'm not against it, but I really just wanted to make sure that I got the music out, created the music, and just to see where it was going. Then when friends and family were talking about trying to put some of the pieces out there online just as myself, not as being from the band, it sounded nice in my head, but I didn't realize how odd it was going to feel getting in front of the camera. So that's kind of the inspiration of Here I Go. It's not about me specifically. It's about all of us that have to take on that unexpected break away from life insecurity, if that makes any sense. So for those of us who have had a hard point that we've had to overcome based on trying to get ahead in life, but feeling kind of afraid to try, that's the gist of what the emotion behind the song is really about. As such, the drum beat for the song, I didn't really want to make something that was super fast or punchy. I wanted to make it almost, it was driving, but not like a march type of driving. What I mean by that is that most pieces of music that are driving don't really rely on a lot of like double bass or flare from the toms. It's mostly snare drum and bass drum, and usually it's just a steady beat. And I know for those of us that are drummers, that actually seems really weird, because the first thing that we try to think about in our head is, how can I soup up this part? How can I make this part sound even more amazing by, doing a whole ton of 16th notes up and down the toms and slapping the snare in there and double bassing like Dragon Force. It's just, you find that you got to kind of draw back, because again, most of the real powerful driving pieces, I don't mean like uh, super fast type of hard rock heavy metal. I'm talking about the driving pieces that are the most memorable. They have just, just a real steady beat, and that's really what I wanted to create with this. So to give you an idea, just solo that track out. It's just a lot of bass, not necessarily the double bass, though I do some double bass work a little bit later in the piece with a little bit of toms, but not much, just a little accent flair here and there. Most of it's just bass. I doubled over on the snare, so it has that kind of that pop sound that you hear, and then just the crash cymbal. On the opposite end of that spectrum, I wanted to start the piece out also with something that sounded really light, primarily because, again, we're talking about facing something that seems like it would be foreboding, facing a fear, and we almost have to approach it delicately, because we're trying to assess the situation as we take our leap of faith. So I used almost like a chime sound to even out the drum track. And here you go, to give you an idea of this. And it literally, I liked this sound because it almost sounds just like a music box. I liked creating the music box sound, and each note, it's almost, dare I say, haunting. So it's that something, that light something within us that seems like it should be fragile, and then we wind up getting to the section of the song right in the very beginning that's this hard punch, like as if we're hitting the wall and we're trying to break through it. The majority of that hard punch, it's from a couple of strings. I made sure that there were some violins in it, the bass guitar obviously, and a nice distorted electric guitar, heavy metal electric guitar, Schecter, to be more precise. But to give you an idea, and this is where I'll stop the video, so I don't want to give too much of the piece away just yet. I'll let you hear the beginning of what we have so far. Just take all that down, and here we go. So as you can tell, I've added some trumpets, a couple of French horns to the mix, and I really like how it starts out soft and how I've taken it to the point where it built up, hit the brick wall, and it continues onward, and then right after it, it falls a little bit, soft again, like as if you're taking it a breath, getting prepared for what's coming next. And yeah, what's coming next, right? I'm hoping to be able to talk with you a little bit more about what's going on with the piece. As you can see, I've done quite a bit with it. I'm still going to be working more with it. I'm anxiously looking for any type of feedback and criticism and help. And yeah, please stay in contact. And I hope to see you out here for the next video blog. The game plan is to make one of these video blogs. I'm going to shoot for once a month, but depending on how I can rework my schedule, it may be twice a month. But for right now, we're just going to say about once a month just to be safe. And again, please make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell, so that way, if by chance I am able to post a little bit earlier than that once a month, you'll at least know. You'll be able to come back here, see, and we'll meet again then. Talk to you soon.